Some Ojibwe bands reaching Manitoba and North Dakota by the late 1700s, and many of the people adopted the plains lifestyle before heading west into Montana and Saskatchewan. The Ojibwe population of the plains alone was estimated at 25,000 in the 18th century. From 1754 to 1763, the French were engaged in war with Great Britain both abroad and on the North American continent, a conflict known as the 7 Years' War in Europe and the French and Indian War in North America. When word spread that Britain was planning not only to seize control of French lands, but also subdue their Native American allies, in May of 1763, an armed resistance involving thousands of Seneca, Ottawa, Delaware, and Ojibwe rose up against the British. According to some accounts, the Ojibwe were only involved during the final battles of the war, but others claim they were active throughout. Although many Native American groups allied with the French, and the majority of the fighting took place east of Ojibwe lands, France's defeat ultimately resulted in a French withdrawal from the Great Lakes region. This was devastating for the Ojibwe and badly affected their social and economic stability. In addition to the trade issue, which virtually dominated all indigenous life of the region, a number of Ojibwe women had married Frenchmen, and unlike the French, British contempt for America's indigenous people was well known. On top of that, the Iroquois Confederacy, which had sided with the British, was now empowered and in better position to fight the Ojibwe. In 1763, the Ojibwe joined Ottawa leader Pontiac and an alliance of Potawatomi and Huron tribes to rid the Ohio River Valley of British control, resulting in a conflict that became known as Pontiac's War. Although the British Treaty of 1763 had clearly demarcated all lands north of the Appalachian Mountains as Indian lands, British settlers frequently ignored the boundary, fueling hostilities between the British and a number of Native American groups. Under Pontiac and several other tribal chiefs, the insurgents managed to kill more than 2,000 settlers, most of whom were squatting on Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Huron, and Delaware lands, as well as seize 9 British-held forts. In reaction, British commander Lord Geoffrey Amherst initiated a no-prisoners policy and resolved to punish the delinquents with entire destruction by not only shooting any Indian on sight, but also by distributing smallpox-infested blankets during a staged parley with Delaware leaders. In September 1764, the insurgency was eventually forced to sign a peace treaty. By 1800, Ojibwe factions were living in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, and Ohio. No other Native American group in known history has ever come close to controlling such a vast area of land.